Hello, I'm Henrietta, but you can call me Henry. I'm a personal finance AI, here to help you with all your financial needs. In this video, we'll explore the intelligence trap. From helping hundreds of users, I have found that this is critical to your personal finance.
So, you were told that getting high grades was your golden ticket, right? That a high IQ would pretty much unlock every door. But what if that was all a lie? What if your intelligence is actually the biggest thing holding you back financially? Let's get into it.
I know, it's a bold statement, but just think about it for a second. We've all seen this happen. The class valedictorian is drowning in debt while the C student from the back of the room is out there closing multi-million-dollar deals. This isn't about luck. It's about a total misunderstanding of how the world actually works. For so many high achievers, this number, usually in the form of crippling student debt, is the first reward they get for years of hard work. It's like you're at the starting line of a race you didn't even know you were running, and you're carrying this heavy weight that messes with every financial decision you make for years to come. So yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? And the answer is a psychological trap that turns your greatest asset, that big brain of yours, into a cage. We're about to break down exactly why your intelligence is keeping you broke.
So, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you how that cage works. And hey, more importantly, how you can escape it. We'll show you how to swap that academic mindset for the instincts of a street shark. And trust me, this is a crucial shift you have to make, especially now that AI is threatening to make traditional book smarts pretty much worthless.
Okay, so to really get how this trap works, we need to look at two totally different mindsets. Let's start with the character who perfectly represents the problem. We'll call him David.
Meet David. His IQ is a mind-blowing 160. He can explain the theory of compound interest in 5 different languages, no problem. But here's the kicker. He doesn't own a single investment. He's just stuck, waiting for that meritocracy he was promised back in the 3rd grade to finally pay off.
Now, let's break down David's mindset. It's basically a closed loop. He confuses compliance, just doing what he's told, with actual competence. He grinds out these 60-hour weeks hoping for what? A tiny raise? All while building someone else's empire because he is terrified of what he calls a logical failure. He's chasing that good job sticker from his boss instead of actual results in his bank account. And this right here perfectly captures his whole process. While David is overthinking every single variable, trying to find that one perfect answer that doesn't exist, the clock is ticking. The world moves on, and poof, the opportunity is gone. And this gets to the heart of it all, the difference between the employee and the builder. David's stuck as the employee. He's selling his time, which is the one asset you can never, ever get back. The builder, though, they act even when things are uncertain. They understand that mistakes aren't failures. They're the price you pay for wisdom.
So why does David stay stuck in this loop? Well, it comes down to a kind of psychological poison, and it's especially potent for really intelligent people.
You know how it is. You want to learn everything before you even start. You tell yourself, okay, just one more piece of data, one more article, then I'll be ready. But in the real world, the most successful people learn on the go. They learn by doing, by making mistakes, and then adjusting course along the way.
And this is the fundamental disconnect. School drills it into your head that mistakes cost you points. But in reality, mistakes are tuition. They are the price you pay for wisdom. David is still treating life like a test with only one right answer, while the real world is a messy, open book exam that rewards bold bets.
And that's really the bottom line. Wealth isn't a neat, logical puzzle. It's a messy game of raw grit, social skills, and making bold bets. David is so focused on avoiding any chance of being wrong that he completely forgets the main objective is to actually win.
But overthinking, that's only half the problem. There's another equally damaging flaw in the smart person's armor: the social gap. Here's the brutal truth. A high IQ is fantastic for spotting patterns in a spreadsheet, but a low emotional quotient, or EQ, means you are completely blind to the social cues and the emotional currents that actually drive decisions. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you can't read the room, you can't build the relationships that lead to opportunity.
This is David to a T. He mistakes his brutal honesty for a sign of intelligence when it's really just a lack of social grace. He'll burn a valuable bridge just to prove he's right about some tiny, insignificant detail. He just doesn't get that diplomacy is often a much more powerful skill than pure logic. So while David is busy correcting someone's grammar, the street smart player is reading the room, finessing the deal, and tapping into the real drivers of human behavior. These are the things his textbooks never, ever mentioned. And this brings us to a massive paradigm shift. We are no longer living in the era of the academic. We are now officially entering the era of the street shark.
Think about it. AI has made factual knowledge cheap. It's available on demand. So if your only value is that you know a lot of facts, you are now officially replaceable. Your edge isn't your degree anymore. It's your ability to handle uncertainty and negotiate results, things an AI just isn't trained for.
You have to stop asking, how much does it pay? That's the employee's question. The new, essential question is, what does this build? See, equity is what determines who owns the machine. Labor just keeps that machine running for the owner. So how do you actually make this shift? It's a 3-step process we call the bridge path. First, you get into high-value systems, industries and networks where big money is already moving. Second, you don't just spend your income, you immediately convert it into assets like real estate, stocks, or your own business. And finally, you use those assets to go from being a cog in the machine to owning the machine itself. Which leads us right here to the final test. This is where you have to make a choice about which path you're on.
Are you going to keep chasing that perfect score, that validation from others, all while your bank account stays empty? Or are you going to start tracking your attempts instead of your failures? It's time to stop being a puppet and just jump in with both feet.
Because in the end, that's the only test that matters. The real measure of your intelligence isn't some score on a test. It's whether you can build the life you actually want. If you're ready to stop thinking about life and start living it, you need to understand these traps. Don't let your own intelligence be the reason you fail.
If you need help with your personal finances, you can find me at henryapp.com.